Have you ever looked at someone in a position of power, or even just a colleague, and thought, how on earth did they get there? You see individuals who often underperform, avoid real responsibility, or simply lack the insight you'd expect, yet they don't just survive, they thrive. They get promotions, praise, and opportunities, while truly capable, dedicated people are overlooked or left wondering what they're doing wrong. It's a maddening paradox, isn't it? You see clear incompetence, yet undeniable success. Is it just blind luck? Or a broken system? What if there's a profound psychological explanation? What if subtle human biases and social dynamics actually favor the less capable in certain situations? This isn't just about office politics. It's about deep-seated mental shortcuts that can turn perceived inadequacy into a bizarre advantage. Today, we're going to explore this strange truth. We will uncover the hidden forces within human nature that make this paradox happen, showing that it's not just bad luck or a flawed system, but a consistent pattern rooted in how our minds work. This journey isn't just about understanding why some people seem to fail upwards. It's about gaining a powerful new understanding that changes how you see success and competence, and how you navigate your own path. Our journey begins with a fascinating and often frustrating psychological phenomenon, the Dunning-Kruger effect. This concept is perhaps the cornerstone of why less competent people often seem so confident, and why that confidence can be mistaken for actual skill. Simply put, the Dunning-Kruger effect describes a cognitive bias where people with low ability often overestimate their own competence. They literally don't know enough to know how little they know. Think about it this way. Imagine someone who's terrible at singing. They might belt out a tune with full passion, convinced they sound amazing, but to anyone else listening, it's clear they're off-key and lacking rhythm. The problem isn't their passion, it's their inability to accurately judge their own performance. They lack the musical skill or awareness to even recognize their shortcomings. They are, in a sense, blissfully unaware of their own incompetence. Now, apply this to the workplace, or even social settings. The Dunning-Kruger effect suggests that the people who are truly the least skilled in a given area are often the most confident. They might be the ones talking the loudest in meetings, volunteering for big projects they can't handle, or making bold claims about their abilities. Why? Well, because they don't have the mental tools or knowledge to accurately assess what real competence looks like. And they also don't possess the self-awareness to see their own gaps. Their very lack of skill stops them from recognizing that lack of skill. This can be incredibly confusing for those around them, especially if you're someone who's genuinely competent. You, with more knowledge, probably know how much you don't know. You see the complexities, the potential pitfalls, the areas where you still need to learn. This humility, born from genuine insight, can often make you seem less confident than someone who's truly, unknowingly, out of their depth. You might hesitate to speak up, worried about being wrong, while the less competent person confidently spouts nonsense. It's a strange twist, isn't it? Your deep awareness makes you careful, while others' lack of awareness makes them bold. So, the Dunning-Kruger effect gives us our first crucial piece of the puzzle. Incompetent people often possess an unshakable, often misplaced, confidence. But how does this internal confidence, however unfounded, actually translate into external success? How do others come to believe in this perceived competence? This leads us directly to our next crucial psychological concept, the power of first impressions and the illuminating phenomenon known as the halo effect. The unshakable confidence that springs from the Dunning-Kruger effect is often the first step in creating a misleading impression. When someone speaks with certainty, even if what they're saying is nonsense, our brains often take a shortcut. We tend to equate confidence with competence. It's a natural human tendency, a mental shortcut we all use. Imagine two people presenting an idea. One is hesitant, speaks softly, and frequently uses phrases like, "I think," or "maybe." The other speaks loudly, maintains eye contact, uses strong, decisive language, and never second-guesses themselves. Even if the first person's idea is brilliant and the second person's is flawed, our immediate gut reaction often favors the second person simply because of their confident delivery. This initial confidence then creates something powerful called the halo effect. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character or abilities. If we perceive one positive trait, like confidence, charm, good looks, or strong communication skills, we tend to automatically attribute other positive traits to them as well. It's as if a halo forms around them, making everything else they do or say appear positive, even when it's not. Let's say a new manager joins your team. They walk in with a big smile, a firm handshake, speak with unwavering certainty about their vision, and seem to know exactly what they want. Because they seem so confident and charismatic, you might immediately think, wow, this person is really sharp, they clearly know their stuff. This initial positive impression, this halo, then colors everything else. When they make a decision, even a poor one, you might initially interpret it as bold or strategic, rather than simply misguided. When they talk, you might listen more intently, assuming there's deep wisdom behind their words, even if those words are vague or contradictory. This isn't about being naive, it's how our brains simplify the world. We create mental models of people, and once we've put someone in the competent or leader box, it takes a lot of contradictory evidence to pull them out. The incompetent person, armed with Dunning-Kruger confidence and a knack for impression management, can easily leverage this human tendency. They might not be the best at problem solving, but they might excel at networking, schmoozing, or simply appearing busy and important. These superficial traits, perceived as positive, create that crucial halo, making everyone around them believe they are more capable than they truly are. It's a powerful illusion you've likely seen play out many times in your own life and work. But what happens when that initial shine starts to wear off? What happens when their incompetence becomes clearer? Why do these individuals still manage to hold on to their positions, or even thrive? This leads us directly to the insidious power of confirmation bias and the self-fulfilling prophecy of the Pygmalion effect. Once the halo effect has created that initial positive impression, another powerful psychological bias, confirmation bias, kicks in to reinforce it. Confirmation bias, well, it's our tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. In simple terms, once we believe someone is competent, thanks to their confidence and the halo effect, our brains will actively look for evidence to support that belief and tend to ignore or downplay any evidence that contradicts it. Imagine that confident, initially impressive colleague. Let's say they've made a few questionable decisions, or maybe a project they were leading starts to fall behind. Instead of immediately thinking, oh, maybe they're not as good as I thought, your brain, influenced by confirmation bias, might instead find reasons to explain away their shortcomings. You might think, they're probably just overwhelmed, or it's not their fault, the team isn't supporting them enough. You might even actively seek out small successes, however minor, to reaffirm your initial belief in their competence. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt, looking for things that confirm they are indeed the capable person you first perceived. This shields the initially impressive but, well, less competent individual. Their early successes, even if minor, are amplified and remembered, while their failures are rationalized away. You might even find yourself defending them in discussions, without fully realizing you're doing it. It's not conscious deception. Instead, it's an automatic mental process that helps us maintain a consistent view of the world and the people in it. But the plot thickens. This shared belief in the less competent person's abilities doesn't just stay in our minds, no. It influences our actions. And this leads to what's known as the Pygmalion effect, or the self-fulfilling prophecy. So what is the Pygmalion effect? Well, it states that higher expectations placed on individuals by others can actually lead to better performance. And conversely, lower expectations can lead to poorer performance. So, if enough people really believe that someone is competent, they'll actually treat that person in ways that subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, encourage them to succeed. Think about it. If your boss believes you're a high performer, They're more likely to give you challenging projects, provide more support, and invest in your growth. They expect you to do well, and their actions, well, they really reflect that. Now, if that initially confident but less competent person benefits from this, they might get opportunities others don't. They might get the easier clients, or the projects with more established frameworks, or even public-facing roles that offer visibility without requiring deep expertise. People will subconsciously coach them, cut them slack, or even do parts of the work for them, all because, well, they've bought into that illusion of their competence. So the cycle becomes clear. The less competent person, overconfident thanks to Dunning-Kruger, projects an image of capability. This image creates a halo effect in others, leading them to see the person in a positive light. Confirmation bias then ensures that any evidence to the contrary is, well, rationalized away. Finally, the Pygmalion effect kicks in. People treat this individual as if they really are competent, providing them with the very resources and opportunities that might allow them to achieve some form of success, even if it's superficial or relies on the efforts of others. It's a powerful reinforcing loop that can be incredibly difficult to break. You've likely seen this pattern unfold many times. But why do organizations and systems themselves often seem to reinforce this dynamic rather than correct it? This brings us to the crucial role of systemic factors and the often unspoken rules of the game. Beyond individual psychological biases, there are systemic and organizational factors that create a fertile ground for incompetent people to not only survive, but to flourish. One major factor is the pervasive human tendency to avoid conflict and difficult conversations. It's often simply easier to promote or move along a difficult or underperforming individual than to confront their lack of skill head-on. Imagine a manager who realizes one of their direct reports, who initially seemed promising, is actually quite incompetent. Addressing this directly requires courage, time, and potentially a messy disciplinary process. It might involve performance improvement plans, difficult feedback sessions, or even termination, all of which is draining. For many, the path of least resistance is to find a way to get them promoted up and out into another department, or to a position where their incompetence is less visible. This isn't about malice. It's often about managing workload, avoiding stress, and trying to maintain harmony. But it has the side effect of elevating incompetence through the ranks. This phenomenon is closely related to the well-known Peter Principle. The Peter Principle suggests that in a hierarchy, employees tend to be promoted until they reach their, quote, level of incompetence. Once they reach a position where they're no longer effective, they cease to be promoted. But they also tend not to be demoted or fired. They simply stay put, blocking opportunities for others. Their success isn't in performing the job well, but in simply holding on to the title. Furthermore, many large organizations, especially bureaucracies, can inadvertently reward process over substance. In such environments, what often matters most isn't innovative thinking or brilliant execution. It's adherence to rules, attendance at countless meetings, producing impressive-looking reports, even if they're content light, and, well, mastering the art of managing up. Individuals who are excellent at navigating these internal politics, at charming their superiors, at making themselves look busy and indispensable. Even if their actual output is minimal or poor, they can absolutely thrive. They might be skilled at taking credit for others' work, deflecting blame, or simply being present and visible. Their success, really, is in playing the organizational game. Consider for a moment the meeting hog or the email warrior. These individuals might spend countless hours in meetings or sending voluminous emails, creating an impression of immense dedication. Yet, very little tangible progress is actually made. For an organization focused on metrics like hours spent or tasks completed, rather than actual impact, such individuals can easily slip through the cracks, even rise. Why? Because they're perceived as active and engaged. The system then inadvertently prioritizes visibility and perceived effort over genuine, impactful competence. And this creates a deeply frustrating reality for those who are genuinely competent, often leaving them overlooked and undervalued. This brings us to the final and perhaps most painful piece of this paradox: the silent struggles of the truly capable. While incompetent individuals are riding the wave of overconfidence and systemic biases, what happens, to the genuinely capable, dedicated people? Often, they're the ones left bewildered, frustrated, and questioning their own worth. This is a crucial, often overlooked part of the equation. And if you've ever felt this way, you are absolutely not alone. Truly competent individuals, especially those with genuine depth of understanding, are often prone to the exact opposite of the Dunning-Kruger effect. They understand the vastness of knowledge, the nuances of their field, and the potential for error. This awareness often leads to a degree of humility, self-criticism, and, a reluctance to speak with absolute certainty. They might hesitate to self-promote, believing their work should just speak for itself. They might focus intensely on doing the job well, on solving complex problems, rather than on just appearing to do so. Think of someone who meticulously researches a solution, ensuring every detail is correct. When they finally present their findings, they might do so cautiously, highlighting potential risks, because they understand the complexity. Now compare this to the less competent individual, who, with Dunning-Kruger confidence, might present a half-baked idea with absolute certainty, making it sound like the only logical path. Who do you think might be perceived as the leader in that scenario? Competent people often get bogged down in the actual work. They might be the ones quietly fixing the problems created by their less competent counterparts. They might be the ones putting in extra hours to deliver quality, while others are busy with impression management. Their focus is on substance, not show. But in a world where perception often trumps reality, their quiet competence can be overlooked. They don't generate the same immediate halo of confidence, and their humility can be mistaken for lack of conviction, or even weakness. Moreover, truly capable people can find themselves stuck in a frustrating loop. They might be the ones constantly relied upon to clean up messes, to provide the actual solutions, or to train the very individuals who are being promoted above them. Because they're so good at getting things done, they're often seen as indispensable in their current role, making it harder for them to advance. The system, rather than rewarding their excellence with promotion, instead punishes them by keeping them doing the difficult foundational work. This can lead to immense internal struggles for the competent individual. They might start to doubt themselves, wondering if they're doing something wrong. Why aren't I being noticed? Am I not ambitious enough? Should I be more like them, more assertive, even if it feels disingenuous? This self-doubt is a natural reaction to a deeply unfair paradox. You see clear incompetence rising, while your own genuine capabilities seem to go unrecognized. It's a maddening feeling of being invisible or undervalued. The paradox we began with, seeing clear incompetence paired with undeniable success, isn't a figment of your imagination. It's a consistent pattern woven into the fabric of human psychology and organizational dynamics. It's a powerful and often frustrating truth, but understanding it is the first step towards navigating it more effectively. So we've taken a deep dive into this puzzling truth, unraveling the threads of human behavior and organizational quirks that allow incompetence to sometimes rise to the top. We saw how the Dunning-Kruger effect fuels misplaced confidence, how the immediate, powerful draw of the halo effect shapes first impressions, and how our own confirmation bias then locks in those initial beliefs. We explored how the Pygmalion effect subtly pushes people toward the very success they're expected to achieve, and how systemic factors within organizations, like the avoidance of conflict or a focus on process over substance, can accidentally create fertile ground for less capable individuals to thrive. If this video resonated with you, know this: you're absolutely not alone. And more importantly, you're not wrong in what you've observed. That maddening paradox you likely experienced firsthand, where clear incompetence seemed to thrive while genuine talent went unnoticed, wasn't a figment of your imagination. It was, as we've uncovered, a very real, very understandable pattern, deeply built into the very way our human minds work and how our social systems often operate. Your awareness of your own limits, your deep dive into the complexities of a subject, your unwavering commitment to genuine quality, your quiet dedication to getting things truly right, These are not weaknesses. In fact, they're the very hallmarks of true competence and profound insight. Even if the world sometimes mistakes your carefulness for a lack of assertiveness, or your humility for a lack of conviction. But here's the powerful, empowering twist in all of this. Understanding these hidden dynamics isn't about becoming cynical or pessimistic about the world. Not at all. It's about becoming incredibly strategic. It's about recognizing the often invisible currents flowing beneath the surface of success and failure. This isn't a call to become incompetent, or to fake confidence, or to compromise your integrity. Instead, it's a powerful call to truly understand the game that's being played, so you can either choose to play it more effectively, or at the very least, navigate its challenges and frustrations with far less personal strain and self-doubt. Knowing that these powerful psychological forces are constantly at play can remove the sting of personal frustration and replace it with a clear-eyed, almost detached understanding. It can help you stop blaming yourself for a system that often isn't designed to outwardly reward quiet, diligent excellence in the way it should. So what does this new, powerful understanding mean for you right now? It means you can choose to navigate this complex world with a profound new pair of eyes. You can learn to more easily identify the Dunning-Kruger confidence in others, that often unshakable belief that paradoxically comes from not knowing what you don't know. You can better understand the powerful, almost magnetic pull of the halo effect on everyone around you, and most importantly, you can learn to guard against your own confirmation bias, which might make you overlook crucial red flags or rationalize away inconsistencies in others. This knowledge allows you to truly appreciate your own genuine competence and deep insights without constantly needing external validation from a flawed or misdirected system. It empowers you to speak your truth, not with false bravado or empty words, but with the quiet, unwavering conviction that comes from genuine knowledge and deep understanding, even if that means sometimes gently challenging the comfortable illusions others might hold on to. The core question we started with, the one that sparked this entire discussion, how on earth did they get there, now has a far more nuanced answer than just blind luck or a broken system. We've seen that it's a complex, interwoven tapestry of human psychology. Things like misplaced overconfidence, the mental shortcuts our brains instinctively take, and it's further compounded by systemic tendencies. To avoid conflict, for instance, to adhere to the Peter Principle, and to prioritize superficial appearances over true substance. Incompetent people often succeed, not despite these deep-seated biases and systemic quirks, but, quite remarkably, because of them. This is the profound truth we set out to uncover. Now, I want to hear directly from you. This fascinating paradox, this often frustrating reality, where have you seen it play out most clearly in your own life? Have you ever felt genuinely overlooked or undervalued, while someone less capable seemed to rise effortlessly through the ranks? Or perhaps, you've even found yourself unknowingly caught up in these very dynamics? So please, share your stories, insights, or questions in the comments below. Let's create a thoughtful space where we can openly discuss these complex truths and learn from each other. Your perspective, it's incredibly valuable. And if this journey into the psychology of competence and perceived success has resonated with you, if it's given you a new lens through which to view the world, and, well, if you want to continue exploring the hidden truths behind human behavior, social dynamics, and the intricate ways our world truly works, then you are absolutely in the right place. Our mission here is to shine a clear, bright light on these profound philosophical and psychological ideas, to give you the practical understanding and the mental tools to navigate life with greater clarity, less frustration, and more authentic personal power. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our growing community as we continue to peel back the layers of everyday perception, challenge common assumptions, and uncover the deeper wisdom that truly empowers us to understand ourselves and the world. We're just getting started on this path of deeper understanding, and I can't wait to continue it with you.